Hey, good morning. Welcome to Coffee and Cosmos with Robin. My name is Robin Fritz. I'm an intuitive and spiritual consultant, past life regression specialist based in Seattle, Washington. And today we're going to talk about why energy and how energy is sentient and what that means to us. So join in. Let me know who you are, where you're joining from. This is our opportunity each week to be in community together. So let's get started here. And I want to start with a grounding and balancing meditation with the Crystal Fallon, helping us get grounded and balanced. Then we're going to talk about how I discovered energy is sentient, which is a pretty cool story, and then what we can do with that information. So we're coming together in community today, so everyone join in. This is Fallon, citrine, Lemurian quartz. Take a deep breath, breathe in all healthy energy at the top of your head, bringing mind, body, spirit together. And as you breathe down your body from head to toe, let go of your cares and your worries and let this healthy energy in to support you. Breathing down from the top of your head, down your face, shoulders, chest, hips, knees, and feet. The top of your head to the bottom of your feet. And reversing that from your feet past your knees, hips, chest, shoulders, face, and the top of your head. So just imagine that energy line going down and reversing back up, helping release the cares of the day, remove any stuck energy. And Fallon, a lot of people experience Fallon as a gold light. Imagine that gold light going into your heart chakra, and with each beat of your heart, flooding your body with healthy energy. You can just see how good that feels. So, sorry, I'm just trying to monitor here. So chime in, let me know where you're joining me from, and let's get started today. So we all know what's going on in the world, and we all know that we're in it together. And a lot of people are having trouble being isolated and worrying about the future. And today we're going to learn some techniques to do something about that and share what we're all feeling and going through here. So let me know if you can hear me. And let's get started on what I really want to talk to you today about is how energy is sentient and what that means to us. So we're also going to do a crystal of the week and share in any comments or questions or concerns you have. So let me get started by explaining to you what I mean by energy is sentient. One of the things I'm privileged to do as an intuitive is mediumship. I help people talk with their deceased loved ones, whether human or animal. And I became a medium because my dad, Ray, who died in 1994, came back and asked me to be a medium. And I'm like, okay, I'm not so sure about that. And this was after many years of my dad coming back and talking to me about what he learned about his life after he died and so on. And what he explained to me was that after he died, he could see energy lines between the living and the dead. So imagine that you have deceased loved ones, human or animal, and you're here and they're there. And my dad could actually see the lines of energy going between them. And he knew how much people were reaching for each other and grieving. And since he noticed this right after he died, he was grieving himself. And over time, he realized that if he asked me to be a medium, we could do it differently than other people do. And said, I don't have to go looking for the dead. He can just bring them to us. So when I do a client session, I ask people who they want to talk to. My dad goes and gets them and brings them back. And then we have these amazing conversations where people get closure and heal grief. Awesome, right? But that wasn't the only thing my dad was looking to do. My dad understood that there's a category of the dead called the stuck dead who are not actually in the proper afterlife. Now, I don't want you to be scared about that because You can simply tell your dead, whoever they are, however long they've been dead, from 2 seconds to 200 years, your ancestors, just tell them it's okay to move to the afterlife. But the reality is that a lot of the dead have not moved to the afterlife, and then they don't continue to move forward. And I'll talk about that in other Facebook Lives. I have upcoming books. I have some free stuff for you coming up. But what I wanted to explain was this was what we were dealing with when my dad asked me to help the stuck dead. And if you know me at all from any of my broadcasts, you know that I'm kind of impatient. And when I figure something out, I want everything to happen at once. So as we started working with the stuck dead, with my dad and his other friends in the afterlife and a few living people that I work with, I became very impatient because we were helping like 10 of the stuck dead move to the afterlife. And there were millions, literally millions. And one day I went, oh, wait, I can feel something changing. I've got this picture of what we can do in my head. And I worked it out. And together, between the people in the afterlife and all of the other things that we brought together, we helped hundreds of thousands of the dead move to the afterlife at once. It's a process I worked out. And again, if you know me, you know I want it all to go really fast. So that's like 2 minutes. You got 2 minutes, people, to move them on out. And Siobhan, I know you're feeling helpless, and that's what I'm getting to here with this broadcast. So hang in there. I'm going to explain why I'm talking about energy being sentient and what that can mean for us today. So here's the thing. After we did this goddess that I work with, who I taught this energy healing technique to you on March 18th. You can go back to that video, but I'm going to cover it again at the end here. She explained to me that Fallon, my crystal, and I had helped the stuck dead move to the afterlife before, and no one had been doing it for a long, long time. And people are becoming aware of that now and doing this. So here's the thing. After we moved hundreds of thousands, helped, did not move them, but literally facilitated people moving themselves to the afterlife, I saw this like cloud, like this thing, and it's not a bad cloud, just like this thing hanging there. And one of the things I do is talk with other beings. It doesn't matter what body they're in, whether they're a storm or a tree, a house, a car, whatever it is. That's what I do in the world. And that's what my spiritual team said I stepped up to do, which is to act as a translator between human and other. So when I was talking to this thing, I'm looking at this thing and I'm going, hello. And it said to me, I can be used for something. And I'm like, okay, I don't even know what you are. And it said, I'm energy. I'm the energy that was freed up when all of those dead moved to the afterlife. Okay, wow, stunning, right? So I'm like, oh my gosh, I had no idea. And so, and I try to not tell other things what to do, because humans do too much of that. And I have a tendency to be bossy. So I looked at it and I said, okay, what do you want to talk about? And the energy said, I could be used for something. And I said, okay, what would you like to be used for? And the energy said, is there a place or a thing in the world that needs energy? And I'm like, well, this was, I think, 2013. I live in Seattle, Washington, on the west coast of the United States, and I was very aware that there were wildfires burning in the ancient sequoias in California, nearing the very ancient ones. And I thought, well, okay, there's this situation. So I went to the sequoias and I said, hello, would you like some energy to help you out? And they said yes. So I basically introduced energy to the ancient sequoias and said, good luck, have fun. I mean, it's uncharted territory. It's just doing what I felt I should do, which is introduce them. The next day I was very curious. So I went to the ancient sequoias and said, hey, it's Robin. I'm really curious. What did you and that energy do yesterday? And the sequoias said, we use the energy to bring in cooler air to slow the wildfires. I was stunned, and I went online and I checked it out, and sure enough, that's exactly what happened. In the process of using that energy to slow the wildfires, the energy got used up, right? So the energy told me it could be used for something, asked me for a thing or a place, and I said, well, meet the ancient sequoias. And together they did their work. And honestly, people, that is real magic. We think of magic in terms of movies and books and, I don't know, the sun rising and setting every day. But this was real magic. This was magic that was brought about by energy that was voluntarily being used to do something in the world. Okay? And there's a lot of energy out there. And that's why I'm bringing this subject up today, because all of us are stuck right now. We have people in the front lines. We have, as we all know, our government, our first responders, our medical providers, our grocers, all of these people trying to deal with something that has never happened on this scale on the planet before, because we're all interconnected, because we can get on a plane. As someone said, in 1918, they didn't have international travel. Today, we have 40 million flights going all over the world. So there you go. And what can we do? We don't have to be helpless. We can ask energy to work with us. So here's the thing. Let me tell you about energy a little bit more about what I know. And understand, I am a very practical person. That's why I call myself the practical intuitive. And I don't make things up. I experiment like any scientist would do. But I have the ability to talk with things that other people don't talk with or don't think about talking with, because I'm curious. And my spiritual team told me years ago, you can talk with anything you want to talk with. What do you want to start with? So I just started talking to everything, and it's fascinating. And you can do it too if you're interested, because humans have forgotten that we are connected to the overall world and we can work with anything. So one of the things we did was create energy healing systems. You've got Reiki, healing touch, I don't know, several other energy healing systems. And people created processes, ways that you could work with energy. They did it for a couple reasons. One, we have trouble focusing sometimes, especially if, we can't actually see something moving in front of us. So that's why they created the symbols and Reiki, and that's why they created procedures for other things. And it's to keep our head focused. But the reality is, we are souls and bodies. We can use our intuition and our natural healing abilities to work in the world. We just need to remember that we've got it. And remembering that energy is sentient is really important. So you have these energy healing systems, but I haven't heard of any one of them that ever talked about energy being sentient, and actually that you can communicate with energy, that it can communicate with us just as we communicate with each other, and that we can invite it to do something in the world so that we don't feel helpless. Which means that if you are stuck at home and you cannot go out, which is what the world is asking you to do. If you're not a first responder, if you're not anyone who's needed on the front lines, if you're like me and can't sew, something I inherited from my mother was the ability to sew a button onto a shirt while accidentally sewing the shirt to my jeans at the same time, so I'm not going to be useful to anyone building face masks. But there are things that we can all do, and one of the things we can all do is energy healing, right? So that's why I brought up this subject today. Think about it, over time. Think about it in the coming days. If energy is sentient, what can you ask it to do? And you can ask it to work with you to facilitate healing, to facilitate removing blocked energy. Okay. So let me go back to this thing that I talked with, this block of energy. What was it? This block of energy was the energy that was freed up essentially when those hundreds of thousands of the stuck dead moved to the afterlife. And the reality is, our planet, if you could see it like that, is literally encased in blocked energy because so many of the dead have not moved to the afterlife. In addition, fear and worry and concern all creates blocked energy. It keeps it from moving. I'm not asking you to not be afraid because that's impossible. Everything has changed for us. And in the coming months, as things become more complex, people are going to be more afraid. And this is where you can make a difference for yourselves, for your families, for the world around you, is to keep energy moving. Okay? Just imagine that any energy is sentient and ask it to keep moving. You can ask it to go to support the first responders in your community, the medical providers, the government to get up off their rear ends and start declaring national emergencies and getting materials and supplies moving. And let me teach you once again this energy healing technique, and then I'll go and see if we have any other questions here. But chime in, let me know where you're joining me from, and let's do this energy healing technique. Okay, I did not make this up because I don't know, it never occurred to me. This technique was taught to me by a goddess. I covered it last week. You can go to that March 18th broadcast here on the Humanity Healing page or on my page, The Practical Intuitive. But this is a very simple technique. Cross your hands on your heart and breathe into the palms of your hands. Okay? That's that simple. Imagine that you're recognizing once again that our bodies are full of energy and our palms have healing centers, if you will. And just imagine that. In fact, you could rub your palms of your hands together just to remind yourself of that. Cross them on your heart and just imagine that you're breathing healthy energy into it. Again, this is a mind trick. This is to give you something to focus on because the energy is all around you and it's already working. Right? And so you can invite healthy energy to go where you need it, to go to calm yourself, to calm family members, neighbors, your government, your city, your grocer, your first responders, whatever. And then hold your palms up and invite the energy to move. It is that simple, people. It is that simple, and it is extremely powerful. If I can create a system where hundreds of thousands of the dead can move to the afterlife all at once in like 2 minutes, okay, 2 minutes is all at once. Imagine what you could do, because we're all equal in this. We can all do this together. And then, because if you're a person whose intuition runs towards feelings, you might feel your energy just rushing out of you. So that's why you cross your hands back on your heart and breathe into your palms and ask yourself to get rebalanced and grounded like that. Got it? So rub your hands together just to remind yourself you're going to do something amazing and fantastic and that you have this ability to do. Cross your hands on your heart. Breathe in healthy energy. Okay, I'm going to send this energy to all of you here in community, and we can all send it to each other. All right? Sending healthy energy to all of us here on the broadcast or anyone watching this broadcast later. Send it back. Send it to each other. Can you feel it moving? Can you see it? Can you hear it talking with you? Can you just know that this is happening? Take a deep breath, cross your hands on your heart, and invite that energy to come back and ground you back into your body. Awesome, right? So let me see if we have Any other, okay, we have a lot of comments. Let me see if I can read them. Someone's been thanking me for joining. Oh, thank you. And yes, you know what? Do these broadcasts help? Would you like to do them every day for like 5 or 10 minutes? I mean, I'm happy to do that. I'm happy to be here. Terry says, you're grateful. Big change will come. We couldn't stay on the path that was okay. We can grow and live in a better, new, healthy planet. Okay, great. You know, I mean, we're all in it together, right? And, you know, to give you a little perspective, my neighbors have been calling me this last week every day. Are you okay? We're checking on you. And that's when I realized something I never thought was going to happen to me. I'm the oldest person on my block. And I'm like, oh my God, how did I become the oldest person on my block? Okay, so we can still laugh, right? We can still laugh in tough times. But the reality is we have a lot to think about, right? I am the only human in my house. I have a dog and a cat. And last year when my dog had his tooth out, my cat sat here and glared at me for the entire day. And the only thing she would say is, go bring my dog home. And so that's when I realized that if something happened to me, the arrangements I had made for the dog to go one place and the cat to go the other, not going to work. They're going to have to go together. So come on, people, plan for how you're going to take care of your animals if you get sick and can't take care of them yourself. Actually, that's happened to me once one morning when I woke up with severe vertigo and couldn't get out of bed, and I could call a neighbor and come take care of the kids. So there you go for that. Miracles, cooler. Okay. Oh, sorry. I scrolled through too fast. Montes says cooler air to control the wild. I think miracles of magic. Lots of energy. Okay. Good. Thank you for your wonderful positive comments. Yes, I can talk to, yes, you can talk to, oh gosh, when I scroll through here, people, I slip out. Thanks for telling me you're from Albany, New York. You know, Seattle was the epicenter and now New York is. Of course, they have a lot more people there. So we're sending love and support to you. Okay, so the question Monty asks, I believe we have these energy frequencies and vibrations within our that occupies the physical soul that was created. Do you believe now you and I can connect because of energy? Yes, we can connect because of energy. In fact, you know, when people say we are all one, they had this weird thing. What they really mean is that energy is permeable, so to speak. Energy flows through everything. So you have an energy body, and so you want to keep that energy body pretty well contained, because especially those people who are very feelings oriented with their intuition can absorb too much, and you want to be able to acknowledge and see what's going on without having to pull it all into you. So somebody else can. So I like that. And you know, your abuela can. My grandmothers could both sew, and I you know, I just did not inherit that amazing gene. My aunt is the most amazing person in the world with the things that she's created, that she thinks up, that she can sew. So this is my talent, to talk with things. Hope that helps. Face masks have run. Taking precaution, being prepared is how it should be. Sorry, I don't know what you mean by that comment. Yeah, they've run out of masks everywhere. And honestly, this is, you know, for those of you who are joining from other countries, because this broadcast does go out internationally, I have to say that there was a point at which I was completely appalled, as a lot of Americans are, that we weren't prepared to help during a pandemic, to help ourselves. And that's going to become increasingly obvious in the coming weeks. One person I really admire is Andrew Cuomo, the governor of New York, who every day gets up there and says something positive and then starts talking about reality and what they're doing. And that's what we need more of. We need more leaders who are considering everyone and taking care of everyone. And no, there aren't face masks out there for everyone. And I'm not sure that they can be useful, but what is useful is listening to the medical people who tell us to stay away from each other. So stay away, but healing energy, right? And coming together in a community like this, that is something that we can do. And something positive is that energy healing technique. And here's why. Fear causes constriction, and fear will block energy. And fear is normal, people, because our bodies are programmed to survive and our souls want to survive in our bodies. So the fear of that keeps energy blocked. I'm not saying your fear is going to go away, but I'm saying if you do this energy healing technique and keep the energy moving, it will help you because it will keep things flowing. And as things flow, it becomes easier to breathe, right? And to relax around this and what's going on around us. Yes, we all feel bad for the workers on the front line, and that's why we are offering them energy healing. Yeah, and so we have, thanks for joining in from New York, from Arizona. Aaron is saying what I speak about with friends and family need more talks about those sicknesses and energy in the spirit can pray. Burns Lake, is that British Columbia? BC, is that British Columbia? Yeah, I mean, I don't have family. I don't have human family, which doesn't make me unusual, but just reminds me that I don't have the support that a lot of you have in terms of having human family members. So again, that energy healing technique is going to send things out. It's going to help you with the fear. Coming together in places like this, Humanity Healing and Om Times have all these resources for you right here on Facebook. Plus, Om Times has a magazine you can subscribe to for, I don't know, it's really inexpensive. I think it's like $2 a month. And they have free podcasts. I had a podcast till December. It just got too much for me to do everything at once. But all my podcasts, The Practical Intuitive, are in the archives. They have wonderful other people doing shows constantly there to boost you up and to keep you going. So support that. Amanda from Tri-Cities, Washington. Yay, I'm in Seattle. Did I say that? So I'm glad, and we don't have to agree with everything. Oh, shoot. I'm sorry. I'm trying to scroll through here and see everybody's comments and see what else we can talk about here. I think I've scrolled through them all. If I missed you, I'm sorry. So the Unity Church is sending energy up into the universe. Hey, again, I have this thing that humans have done too much of pushing and shoving things around and not enough of facilitating. So that's why when the energy said I could be used for something, I'm like, okay, what would you like to be used for? After first going, wait, what? So I'm more of a one to say, invite the energy to go where it will, or invite it to go find a place, because you know what? It's been doing that all along for eons while we've been ignoring it or not realizing that that's what it can do. Again, if we get stuck in a human mindset, we miss a lot of cool things going on in the world around us, right? And so, okay, so we're out of time for today, but okay. Yes, we are all in this together. Eugene, Oregon. Hey, cool for you. I grew up in the Salem area. I am older and wiser. I wish I was wiser. I try. And we learn something new every day. So let me give you a crystal of the week. This crystal has been sitting on my desk since the last time I used it in a broadcast. This is red jasper. So if you're feeling lost and stuck, if you're scared, get a grounding crystal. And if you don't have any around you and you don't want to go out to the store, you can mail order. My friend Kim Valines at Earthlight Rocks and Gems in Washington State has an Etsy site. I can guarantee all of her crystals are healthy because she's smart about them and she's been working with them all her life. Red jasper is good for grounding. All the black crystals, a lot of people like black tourmaline. My favorite is columbite, which is like hard to find, but you can find tektite. Regular quartz is great. Don't wear pendulums around your neck. I mean, it's like sharp points shattering your energy field. It makes me shudder. But you can carry your crystals in your pockets. I always have to put them in pouches or find jeans with zippers on the pockets because my crystals tend to climb out and go for little hikes without telling me where they're. Find a good grounding crystal. Put sea salt around your house in little bowls, because sea salt is traditional to keep energy moving, right? Keep energy moving. That's what you want to do. Keep it moving, right? The more that each of us can do to keep energy moving, to send out healthy energy and let it go where it will. Say healthy energy, go where you feel needed to be. It will help. I promise you it will help. Will it cure the virus overnight? No. But it will help, and it will help us. There are things about this that will come to light eventually. But one thing I do want you to remember is that you are souls in bodies. We are growing our souls every moment of the day. That's what we're here for. Tough times aren't brought on us by evil things. They aren't ascension symptoms and that suddenly the world is going to be full of fairies and clean air and drying our clothes on lines. We are here growing our souls. We can grow our souls together. Here's a place where we can come together in community. So like my page, The Practical Intuitive, the Om Times page is Humanity Healing. If you have questions, you can find me at robynfritz.com. That's ROBYNFRITZ.com. I don't put my website in the introduction here because that Facebook messes then with the page, and I don't want to mess with the Humanity Healing page. Find me on Facebook. We're in this together. If you want me to do more broadcasts, I can do them here on the Humanity Healing page. We can do them on my Facebook page, The Practical Intuitive. But we are in this together. People, you are amazing. You are here at a difficult time in the world, and we are in it together, and we will get through this together with peace and love, mind, body, and spirit coming together. We can do this. Let me know how you're doing. I will definitely be back here next Monday. You can send me questions, things that you'd like to cover. Sorry I went on so long today. I was only going to go like 10 minutes. But hey, right? We're in it together. Take care of each other. Follow the rules. Stay in. Stay away from each other unless you need groceries or medicine or food for your animals, right? That you need to get at the pet store. Take care of each other. Love makes a huge difference, and that's what we're spreading today. Peace, love, and harmony. We can do this. Take care.